is. Like,
Yeah.
I would say defensively, the best athletes do the best. But like when you're pitching specifically, when you're at the plate, like it's a mental battle every single pitch. And
Yeah,
there's a lot that goes into it, which is
sure,
why teams cheat and steal signs.
Wow, do you think that happens a lot?
Yeah, all the time.
Really?
I think it's happened for the last ever since baseball was invented. People have been cheating.
That's what it kind of seems like.
Yeah. So the way that it goes in baseball is if you can cheat and not get caught, everybody has respect for you. But the second you get caught, everybody hates you.
Well, I feel like that's how it always is.
So if the Houston,
isn't that for everything?
No. So if the Houston,
but everyone, gets caught by who?
so let's say you heard about the whole Houston Astros scandal.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, why don't we tell people about it for the people who don't know?
So for the people who don't know, the Houston Astros were caught relaying signs to the batters during the 2017 and part of the 2018 season. And the way they did that was they had a live monitor in their clubhouse behind the dugout, and they had the live feed. Usually, like, teams are allowed to look at the monitor for replay purposes, but it's on a delay. It's on like a 30-second delay or 10-second delay or whatever it is to prevent them from stealing signs. But the Houston Astros went against the rules of the MLB, and they hooked up they had their own camera specifically for their dugout. They had fiber optics running through the stadium to get it to them in real time. Right. And so what they did is they had they created an algorithm. And it's a pretty common algorithm out there. Little League teams use it. This guy created this algorithm where you punch in the sequence when catchers lay down their signs. They go like 3, 2, boom, boom, fuck you, whatever, Right. And they do their thing, and whatever the outcome of it is, when you pitch, out comes a fastball, a slider, a changeup, or curveball, whatever it is.
Right.
After, I think it's 10 pitches, it's decoded. They know the algorithm.
Yeah.
And so, using that algorithm, what pitch is coming. And so they do that using the live monitor feed, and they have one of their scouts back there, and then he relays it to the batter by banging on a trash can. And so the way that they would do it.
Where are they banging the trash can?
In the clubhouse.
Oh,
so there's the dugout, and then there's the stairs that go into the locker room. And in between the dugout and the locker room is the clubhouse.
What? Wow.
Yeah. Okay. And so what they did is they banged on the trash can when an off-speed pitch was coming, which is a huge advantage. I mean, you don't really think of it, but the difference between 92 miles an hour and 85 miles an hour is huge, and you only have split seconds to swing. So if you know the speed of the pitch that's coming and that it's going to be breaking, not only can you time it better, but you'll know if it's starting on the outside corner of the plate, not to swing. And it's a huge advantage. And you could see the drastic change in statistics in 2017. Houston Astros were one of the worst teams for strikeouts in 2016. They were the 27th worst. They struck out a lot. And then the next year, miraculously, they were the best team at not striking out. The best team by a large margin.
Well, that seems pretty bullshit.
It was pretty bullshit. And to have that advantage is incredible, especially because on any given day, any team can beat anybody. The worst team can beat the best team on any day. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's kind of just how it goes. And it's...
So you're saying if they didn't get caught, you would have respect for them?
If they didn't get caught and 25 years later, they're like, oh yeah, it came out that they did this, I would have been like, gotta do what you gotta do to win.
Yeah.
I would have been salty specifically because they cost the Yankees I don't want to say the World Series, but we would have gone to the World Series if they didn't do that. It was a really close game. When we played, so it was 7 games in 2017, the ALCS was. Every game at Yankee Stadium was close, every game at Yankee Stadium was a blowout. We crushed them. We won by 3 or more runs every single game, and every single game at Houston was either a 1 or a 2-run game.
Okay. Here's a question. So, is it kind of like the culture in cycling, where it's everyone does what do you call it?
Doping.
Yeah. Everyone's doping.
Same
so
thing.
it's everyone's cheating. So it's just kind of if you get caught.
Yeah. So let me.
Is that how you think it is?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. But let me also say this. What was unique about the Houston Astros scandal was that this is the first time somebody had done something like this. So in the past, Mark Teixeira talked about what they did on the Yankees. Mark Teixeira is a first baseman for the Yankees. He's retired. He played for the Texas Rangers, Then he came over to the Yankees in like 2006 or 2007. And he played with us until like 2015. And he talked about how he and Alex Rodriguez and a couple other guys in the clubhouse tried to cheat and what they would do. And what they would do was, and this is a very common practice. If you have a runner on second base, you can see the signs that the catcher is giving.
Yeah.
And if you know what's coming, you can relay it to the batter. They call that like tipping pitches. And so if you know we did this on my 14-year-old baseball team. If we knew a breaking ball was coming, we would drop. We were at second base, we were taking a lead, we would drop our left arm. Okay, and like there's a bunch of different signs people can do. And so what the Yankees did was after the games, they would go back and they would watch the tape. So let's say you have a 3-game series. They would watch the tape, they would look at the pitch sequences, and then they would know for the next game, like if you're on second base, like this sequence means this sequence means that, and this sequence means that. The problem with that is if you're relying on your brain and not a computer to decode it. And when you rely on your brain, there's a lot more errors. So Mark Teixeira said there were a lot of times when A-Rod was on second, and he was at bat, and he gave him the wrong sign. And when you get the wrong sign, it's even worse than having no sign at all. If you think a fastball is coming and a changeup comes, you have no chance at all of hitting it.
Oh, yeah.
No chance at all. And so that's pretty common practice. A lot of teams have been doing that like pretty much forever. And so the fact that the Astros use technology to 100% decode the signs and relay it to the batters without having anybody on base was unique. They were the first team to do that. And then there's also allegations that after that they were worried about getting caught because there was a White Sox pitcher, Danny Farquhar, who caught on to it in 2017, that they had Bluetooth Band-Aids on their body that would vibrate. And that's how they relayed the signs. They had somebody in the clubhouse buzzing their Band-Aids. And so there's a video. You should look it up. And everybody out there who's looking it up too, look up John Boy Media. John Boy Media is the best independent baseball YouTuber out there. It is hardcore. Jose Altuve hit a walk-off home run against Aroldis Chapman in Game 6 of the 2019 ALDS. And he hit a bomb off of a slider. Now, if you don't know anything about Aroldis Chapman, he throws like 100-mile-an-hour fastballs every time, if not faster.
Wow.
And so he's really hard to hit. And so because he throws these sliders, like, nobody ever sees him coming. Nobody can ever hit him. He's like one of the best relievers in the game. And Jose Altuve waited on a slider, timed it perfectly, hit a slider for a home run, walk-off home run, and then when he was rounding the bases at the end, it's tradition that you rip somebody's jersey off.
When you hit a home run?
When you hit a walk-off home run, when you do a dog pile, they rip your jersey off. That's what they do nowadays. So let's say you hit a home run, be like, yeah, your team like mosh pits you, they rip your jersey off.
Cool.
Okay?
That's good enough.
The Astros, like 2 innings before, Jose Altuve had an undershirt on. He went into the clubhouse, he changed, he took the undershirt off, went up to bat, hit that home run, and then he's rounding the bases, and he covers his chest, and he says, no, don't take my jersey off. He says, you can't take my jersey off. He says, no, don't take it off. Because people think he had the Band-Aid on under the jersey. That's what he went into the club. And then after they won, so usually if a player hits a walk-off home run, especially to like move you up in the series, the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to celebrate, and the press is waiting for you right outside the dugout. Jose Altuve said, no, I'm not talking right now, went into the clubhouse to change before putting on the championship T-shirt. Had to go in the clubhouse to change. And that was very suspicious. And Ken Rosenthal, who was interviewing him, asked him about it. And Jose Altuve had like the worst excuses ever. The first one was, I don't know, I'm embarrassed. And then he said his wife doesn't like it when his shirt gets taken off on TV. And then like a month after the allegation started, he goes, oh, actually, I just had like a bad tattoo that I got. And it wasn't even him. His teammate Carlos Correa said like, oh, he didn't do that because he had a bad tattoo he was embarrassed about. And it's like this tiny ass fucking name tattoo on his chest. And I would think it's hilarious if Jose Altuve didn't actually have a bad tattoo and Carlos Correa lied. And then Carlos Correa went up to Jose Altuve. He's like, hey, man, listen, so I lied and I said you had a bad tattoo on your chest, so you got to go get a bad tattoo.
that would have been so awesome.
That would have been hilarious.
I would have fucking killed
the tattoo's there. He like sent a picture out. He like tweeted. He's like, this is the picture of my tattoo I'm talking about. And then their apology was weak, and I hate the Astros now. I hate him so much.
So it's known that he definitely had it then.
No, it's not definitely. Well, there's a report. The commissioner they did like an investigation, and they interviewed old baseball players. It's really hard. They couldn't get anybody on the team to talk. The only way they could do that was granting them immunity. meaning they wouldn't get the trophy taken away from them, they wouldn't have any awards taken away from them, and they wouldn't have money taken away from them. And that's how they talked. And they still didn't really say everything. And so they admitted to the trash cans because they got caught for the trash cans. And there was an incredible amount of evidence proving that they did it. Like there's like thousands and thousands and thousands of pitches and at-bats of them getting caught using the trash can. It's unbelievable. So in like every single game you can hear it. And their apology was weak, but nobody could prove the rumor was going around about the Band-Aids, but nobody can prove it. There were only allegations, and they all kept their mouths shut. And a lot of people think it was only the core players that did it, and they didn't tell any of the other players. The pitching staff didn't know. The bench players didn't know.
Really?
Even guys like Josh Reddick and Jake Marisnick, who were like 10th and 11th guys, didn't know. And so they kept their mouths shut, and they didn't get caught, but I think they did it. But it's fucked up, because they took away. The Dodgers lost 2 World Series in a row. Yeah, Dodgers went to the World Series 2 times in a row, and they lost.
Dang, that actually is really. They must be pissed.
They are pissed.
Here's a question: do you think they should take away their rings or whatever?
100%.
You think so?
Without a doubt. I mean, those games were too close. I mean, if they swept them if they swept every team and they crushed them, I would say maybe not.
How do you go about taking away the rings?
You just take it away. You just say you have to give it back. And if people say no, there's nothing you can do about it. But the value of those rings is nothing. Like the value of that ring to to buyers is nothing. The value of that ring to other players is nothing. It means nothing.
Do people sell their rings?
Yeah, 100%.
Just for money?
Yeah, because there are players on teams that they were bench players. And they were on a historic team, and they never played, and they never saw the light of day. They never got a big contract, and and they're older. They're 40, they're 50 years old now, and they're working regular jobs. They got to send their kids to college. They sell the ring.